Hi, this is Phoenix Genesis for PhoenixGenesis.com and our two YouTube channels, Phoenix Genesis and Fry Camp. I'm playing Minecraft on PlayStation 4, my Phoenix Genesis Survival World, but this is a copy in creative mode, so I want to go over the three biomes that we can vote for and the advantages and disadvantages of each. First, I want to say I think the biomes that choices we had last year seemed more utilitarian and more beneficial to us. I voted for the taiga, and we haven't gotten foxes in PlayStation 4. I hope we do before they switch us out to Bedrock. I absolutely love the campfires. I use them in all kinds of different ways, decorative and also utilitarian. I love the berries. I find them very useful, and for food, for decoration, all kinds of uses. I really want the foxes. I'm not that excited with the three choices this year, and I'm just wondering why they haven't given us a choice between the desert and the savannah and let us vote. So that was next. Are they not going to now update those biomes, and we're just going to have one choice of either swamp, mountain, or Badlands, formerly known as Mesa? So that's a big question. So let's just go over what I think about the different biomes. So first of all, we have swamp. I'm not that thrilled about the update to the swamp because honestly, I just don't like the murky water. It's just so ugly. I mean, of course, it's supposed to be a swamp, but I think there's many ways you can already improve a swamp, and I mean, the swamp is important because of the slime, and I use the slime blocks a lot for building and survival. I use them for decoration, for lighting. I mean, they're great. So I do like swamps. They have clay. Before we had the Mesa slash Badlands, the only way to get, clay, which is now called terracotta, was to kind of get it in the swamp. I built my brick house. You'll see when we go to the mountain section, but I really don't really care about swamps. As you see, by the way, you can take a conduit and make it a fountain. It doesn't have to be underwater. As long as the water is covering it, you still get conduit power. And I'll just kind of jump in here so you can see that. So there's the conduit power. But you can, spice up your swamp. This is a really old swamp because this world's almost 5 years old. So I went and I just put mushrooms here. I put the conduit here. Some of it I'm covering with sand just to get rid of the murky water. You can put lily pads. There's a lot you can do for the swamp. The melon trees we're gonna get, they're not that pretty, honestly, in my opinion. And I guess you could get mango fruit, but I would like to see, are we gonna be able to take the mangoes and put them in a special potion? I mean, what exactly are we gonna do? The frogs, are they poisonous? What kind of hostile mobs may they poison? And as far as the chests in the boat, I don't see that much benefit because a chest doesn't hold that much, and you can take a shulker box and have a bunch of those inside your chest you're carrying, and you can have your ender chest, and I mean, honestly, we already have a lot of storage. I don't see any benefit in boat. And the biggest problem with the boats is if you take a boat and you have a lead for your boat, after a while, I just built a marina like yesterday. I put all the boats in, tied them up to the fencing, and within like 2 hours they all untied themselves. So until we can actually secure our boats properly, I don't see any benefit in having a chest in a boat, especially if the boat's going to float away with all our items. So, while we're exploring. So I don't see the benefit for the swamp. I do not vote for swamp. So let's go over here to the mountains. And, the thing about mountains is, they do need an overhaul. They've gotten better since we've able to have snow on the mountains. They look a lot. Ooh, it's snowing too. So they look really pretty. Some of the older mountains like these don't have any of the, the diorite, the granite, and the andesite. They're just kind of dirt mountains, and that made an improvement to the mountains. But one thing I noticed from way back when I started playing Minecraft, both on Pocket, ooh, and it's as lightning too. Let's go over here and sleep in my bed. The thing with the mountains is they just don't generate as nice as they used to. They're not really mountains. So I mountain climb, when I'm not playing Minecraft, and I go to places like the Sierra where there's like real mountains, 11,000 1,000-foot mountains. And, this is the old world generation. You just don't get mountains that look like this. I mean, they're more like foothills. And, though this doesn't have the different rocks, which I can put in those, rocks, and spice it up. But we used to get these beautiful, lava falls, which of course you can take a bucket, make your own lava. But we just used to have these really beautiful looking epic mountains, and we don't have this. And this is what I was saying about clay and swamps. Like I was able to get all this. It took forever to make this. Let's go in, and I'm just going to sleep in a bed real quick. I hardly ever come to this house. Shame on me. Let's go upstairs. But as far as mountains go, they're saying they're going to revise them. I really would like to see what they're going to do with the mountains. I would, I really, really suggest that they look at the Sierras, because the Sierras in California, in Central California, have the best mountains ever. And if they were to look like that, I mean, having mountains as a backdrop in your world really, really looks nice. I mean, look how nice this house, how epic this house looks with the backdrop of, having really epic looking mountains in the background. But as far as the goats go, I mean, can we put chests on them? I mean, what purpose do they really serve? Can they clear out? Now, if the goats can actually eat and clear out grass for us so that we could make a nice clean area, I would go with that. But remember, with the goats, every time we have a mob in a specific area, like the ocelots generate so much that the pandas don't want to generate, and then you can't breed your pandas because the ocelots are taking over the jungle biome. So if that's going to be the case, and I find that when Minecraft does come up with an update, whatever the new thing is, it tends to overwrite and dominate the predecessor. So would that mean we have less llamas? The llamas are very utilitarian. You can chain them up and up to 5. You can put chests on them. So I think if it's going to cut, we're going to have less llamas, and the goats are going to kind of supersede. I don't see any purpose in the mountains. Another problem too is, okay, great, now we have snow and we can get a shovel and get all these snow caps. The problem is that in the recent Pillage and Village update, all my snow caps like melted. So I made some houses where I'm actually out of snow, where you'd have these different levels, and everything melted. I put snow in my super flat in some of the areas. The snow caps around to kind of layer it, that melted, and my snow furniture melted, like couches. And so until we can have the snow caps not melt and I can actually utilize the snow caps in places other than on top of a mountain, I don't see any purpose in really updating the mountains. So the last area we're going to go to is a Badlands. And unfortunately, I never got a mesa here, so I just been building my own, mesa, coloring clay and getting, sometimes a wandering trader has sold red sand, so I was able to duplicate it. So, oops, going the wrong way. Let's go over here. So I actually build my own mesa, so we could go over to a couple places I built. We're going to go over here real quick. So I can talk about the mesa while we go over there. Oh, it's taking forever. Come on, go faster. Actually, I'll probably go through the nether to get there. So, come on, take forever. So as far as the Badlands goes, that looks like the best one to vote for because, okay, we have vultures, which actually have a utilitarian purpose. They, just like dolphins can lead us to treasure in the ocean, the vultures can lead us to loot, and we all love our diamonds and our gold and various loot. So, that is actually a really good advantage. Also, tumbleweeds look kind of cool. I think we could... I don't know what we could make into them, but, just having another decoration block, I always am for more decoration blocks. I think they're a necessity, I mean, there's only so much you can do with the decorations we have, and I mean, that's why I love the Pillage and Village, because we got so many new blocks. Hi, pandas, there's my pandas right there. We have only so much, and every time we have a new block, it just gives a little variety to all the houses, especially if you have a lot of builds on your world like I do. I want to have different types of decorations, so that's kind of utilitarian. As far as the cactus goes, it looks like it's a prickly pear in bloom, which I saw a lot of that when I hiked in the real life in the Anza-Borrega Desert. You can watch those videos. So as far as that goes, having another cactus, because honestly, other than, the dead, the little dead stick bushes, I mean, all we have is just these kind of sororo cactus, but it's not even a sororo, it's not a barrel, it's just kind of a big cactus. So having the prickly pear, I think it would function a lot like the berries, where you can actually take the prickly pear fruit and eat it, restore health. So that's one benefit. It gives us a really nice cactus to put in decoration in our garden, and it can be a nice perimeter defense for hostile mobs, like much like the berries. So I think it's just taking the berries that we just got last year from the taiga and reskinning them. So that has a use. And so I would say I would go with the Badlands for those two features. The only thing I don't like about the Badlands is that honestly we need more mesa and Badlands. They just made it too super rare. And in survival, I mean, there's only so much you can do with cobblestone and stone and wood. And we want to have clay houses, we want to have brick houses, and or just use brick for various foundations for houses, for bridges. We just want more clay. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. Of course, with the glazed terracotta, it can replace carpeting. I mean, it just makes a really nice design, even integrated into desert builds. So I do vote for it, but honestly, if we're going to get this update, then we've got to travel 20,000 blocks and say bedrock to get a mesa, Badlands, and what's the point of having it? We need more Badlands in the game. And having said that, my last thing I want to say, instead of coming up with, set dressings for the biomes, what we really, really, really need is if we're going to bedrock, we need an inventory that is organized so that it's easier to get the things like see if you go to PlayStation, let me pull up an inventory here. See we have building blocks, decorations, redstone, transportation, materials, food, tools and armor, brewing, and miscellaneous. And I think we just need to kind of, even in this inventory, we need better organizational skills. Like, I mean, everything should be in color coordination: red, orange, yellow, lime green, green, cyan, light blue, blue, purple, in a sequential order where it's easier and not kind of just shoved. Oh, we added, 4 new ones, just shove them here. We really need to have everything organized. I think instead of materials, these diamonds, everything should be in its own category. I think, things like doors, trap doors should be and wood should be in its own separate category. We need more menus where we can flip through really fast and, get to our building material, because time is such a precious commodity. It's more precious than money. And, even like I upgrade to 3.0 memory sticks so I can go faster. When I build, I try to have a system where I'm building so I can build faster. So the faster I can work and the more efficiently I work, the more things I can build in my world. So I really, really think we need to hire someone who's really good at organization, and we need to fix up our inventories and just make them more, intuitive and more efficient. So, having said that, also every time they come out with biomes, it unbalances the seed. So I think we need to have, villages that are more complete. So they have more of the features and not just like random, make complete villages. When another thing was when they updated the biomes, think about players who have been around for a while. So I've lost a lot of my snows melted in my world. And, I built these areas because I wanted to have snow there and I wanted the effects of the snow. And now all that snow's gone. So fixing things like that, fixing our biomes, making sure our biomes are secure, and so we don't have that. Another thing too is if they're doing so many updates, we should know like precisely when they're coming out with these features, because even with an infinite world, you reach the far lands and eventually the world starts breaking down. I don't want to have to keep starting a new seed every time we have new features. So it would be good to kind of commit for Mojang, and to commit and say, okay, we're going to come up with this update, and then that's when we're going to have these features, so we know like what to save in our world, how far to explore. And I don't want to expand too much and have to go like 100,000 blocks now, because everything's kind of outdated. So like until I may not even go to Bedrock. I may stay on PlayStation 4. This is one example. Like, this was my Christmas area where I lit my menorah for, Hanukkah, and I loved it here. I built this house. I built the window, the kitchen window, so I could, like, kind of look out here, and that's my little kitchen. I can look out here and get the beautiful snow. I built a lot of Christmas stuff, and then it didn't snow, so I had to sit here, like, in my survival world, and go and get snow and make snow blocks, and actually, and all the snow caps would melt unless I put a snowman. He'll make snow caps. You can see right here. But I've had to go and actually import and lay this snow because I didn't feel like moving the house. So, I mean, I will build another house in areas that still snow, but I wanted to keep this. I have a lot of memories here, and it's just sad that I lost the snow for that, and a lot of my snowy areas are just melting. So, make sure if you're going to update that doesn't hurt our biomes. I just built this recently, my little Christmas hideout, so I actually put Christmas presents where you get stuff. But that's another thing I would like to see. Make sure our biomes don't get wrecked. A last thing I want to say with Bedrock, and I'm going to make a whole nother video about Bedrock to find out after they announce if we're going to get it on PlayStation 4 or when we're going to get it. I'm going to make an announcement of things I think we need to preserve in Bedrock. But another thing is it going to overwrite our world edges on the last 32 blocks? Because I built a lot of stuff right on the edge, and I need to know that because you have an option where you don't have to overwrite world edges, and that's something else that's important for us. Also, if you look at the Bedrock Edition, animals are despawning. I have animals that I've had memories with that I've had since the creation of my world when they were ocelots, and I tamed those cats, and I would like to make sure my animals stay secure. So those are just things that I think we need. I think we should have a vote on what we do need, like better inventories, maybe fixing up the super flat, having a tutorial world, and we never even got a tutorial world on PlayStation 4 for Pillage and Village. It's still on the aquatic one, and I think, kind of 4J Studios abandoned us to make maps for Bedrock, and I think that's sad. I think there's a lot of things we do need, and we need a good tutorial world. We need I don't know, so many different things. I would like to see jungle villages. I make actually some custom jungle villages because I love the outfits we have the jungle outfits, but why don't we have jungle villages? So I think that's something I would like to see. There's so many things I would like to see that I think we have. So I'm just not that enthused as I was last year. Last year I was very enthused because, like I said, the taiga had just so many beautiful features that I utilized in the game, and I just thought it was great, and I'm just not that enthused. Anyway, I've said enough. My real cat Suki is pushing me like, get off your game and pay attention to me. Ow, I just got bit. Okay, but having said that, Phoenix Genesis, see you after Minecon. Bye.